So today I started off a little bit late. I was really tired after last night's activities, especially the concert. And so I slept for a long time and woke up late. So I'm going to the screening of a movie, The Lucky Few, if I'm not mistaken. I had an email from the PR people that they would want me to watch and interview them. So I obliged, and I'm now finding my way to the DoubleTree Hotel by Hilton, uh, so that I go and watch. I'm sure I'm late, but better late than never. I wasn't too far away when I said I was looking for it. So uh, I'm going in to see time the screening is. Alright, so I just finished watching Lucky Specials. I believe it's been on TV3 already, and it will rerun again soon. But it's a lovely, lovely movie. South Africans really do know how to tell a good story, and so far it's the best I've seen. Maybe because it was in English, but really, really good production, and maybe you can expect a review very soon. I don't know where. I think I'm lost. Okay. Alright. As I find my way, I try to come look around a little bit, and that's a cool waterfront, and kids playing football, not so much usually. Anyway. Alright, so today is my last day in Zanzibar. I have literally packed my stuff. I'm going to check out and have them store my luggage somewhere in the hotel, because my flight to Dar es Salaam is around 6, so it's very, and checkout is at 11. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my bag stored, and then I do some activities, including zip activities before I leave. So let's see what the last days have for me, or rather the last day have for me.
How is Trace assisting artists in their total approach to monetizing their music?
Several ways actually, thanks Pranav. For Trace, we've been doing a lot of things quietly, just to try and basically change how artists then get their revenue. One of the most direct, actually the biggest expense in the Trace books, financial books, is payment of music royalties. So basically we ensure that we submit royalties so that artists can in turn get some money out of their music and their art. But that has been difficult in Africa, because, especially East Africa, because you find that the countries in East Africa, most of them still don't have an organized body that collects this revenue as one body and distributes it rather, transparently to the artists. In Kenya, for example, that is starting with the Music Copyright Society of Kenya. I can see right now artists are able to pick checks, but there still are upheavals in the system. But then, as I think they're also collecting good revenues from the radio stations that play music, because now they're subjected to basically put their playlists out there so that there's a clear and transparent way that this revenue is kind of submitted. But then also, right now we've our biggest also, what we're doing to the artists is put their work out there so that people can know them and follow them in the various other distribution platforms. And like I think Charles touched on, there are also digital platforms that are now enabling artists to get a bit of revenues. You mentioned the Doodles and Kidos. So, and I'm seeing, I was just looking at the stats. I think Doodle has about 400,000 users in Kenya, another 400,000 users in Tanzania. And I think Uganda follows closely with 100,000. Then another 100,000 from the rest of the world. Because also right now there are a lot of Africans in the diaspora that are basically want to keep in touch with the arts from their home countries. So we are starting to get a big international market to, looking at downloading music from these platforms. But most importantly, I think 2 months ago we launched a VOD service. It's called Trace Play. So Trace Play is also one of the platforms we are going to use to penetrate the US and the UK market, and actually target this diaspora we're talking about. And basically, it's going to be also a service that people can subscribe to, and we are having mechanisms of sharing that revenue with the artists. So those are some of the key ways that we're trying to make this work for the artists as well. But then, last but not least, we also
Distribution, as someone coming from the US, what do you see as the potential of digital distribution of African music?
Great question. Where do I start? I mean, the African continent is essentially where America was at some point in its infancy, when mechanical rights were instituted, where certain bodies of the collecting agencies were put together. That was to ensure that artists and creators were taken care of. They were represented at every level. Therefore, unscrupulous managers and record executives, they used to notoriously take advantage of artists, where artists would literally die destitute. Therefore, these guys were actually living lavish lives, where artists died poor. And I think what Africa has a leg up on America in that sense, because now you can learn from America's mistakes and ensure that artists are represented to the fullest, that also they will be creating wealth and legacy. Because the key is about creating legacy. If an artist, I'm an artist myself, but you as an artist, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to craft a piece of music or a piece of videography or film or photography, whatever the case may be. Now, the time that you spent creating that piece of content, it has to be remunerated accordingly. And you have to be able to put in a position where you are represented, where revenues are collected by an impartial body that will distribute these earnings to the writers, the composers, and so on and so forth, mechanical rights and so on and so forth. And now I think in the digital realm, it's even more interesting, it's even more actually accurate, the way you can actually pinpoint by locality, by demographics, by age groups, to the minute details. Big data is huge now. So you can actually data mine and find out where exactly the money goes. Complete transparency, and I think that has to be key. Transparency has to be at the bottom of it all. But also, let me add, government has to play a big part in this as well. I think. I'm not really a big fan of government meddling into the arts, but in this case, legislation have to be put in place where piracy have to be dealt with severely. Because without that, there's no artistry. The artists, they cannot survive, they cannot create legacy, they cannot create wealth.
Absolutely, and that's a good point, and government's role in that is policy. Just to share an experience in Kenya, we have a new...
To support your project. Some people would have a generator budget. They don't have the money. They go borrow a generator from their neighbor. We use generator in Nigeria a lot. We don't have light. Almost all the homes have generators. So that's how we've been able to create an industry out of nothing with no government support. The biggest support of Nollywood, I can say till tomorrow, is African Magic. Anyone could quote me anywhere, because it was African Magic that took our movies and actors beyond Nigeria and started trade. You can watch Nollywood in Tanzania, you can watch in Congo, you can watch in all these places. It was African Magic that started, and of course the pirates who took it, and started doing, voice dub in French. I was in Congo some years ago, and I met a couple, a guy and his wife, and they said, look, that We are helping you people in Nigeria. You know what we do? We buy the Nigerian movie from Nigeria, myself and my wife and my children, we put it in French and we sell it. And they're pirates and they're proudly telling us they're pirating our works. And he's saying he's doing us a favor for pirating our work because the French people will be able to watch Nollywood. Of course, he might be doing the actors a favor because eventually the actors get popular. But the producers are suffering. In Nigeria, I don't know if it happens anywhere in Africa, but you can find a producer in Nigeria who has shot 300 movies. In his 10 years career as a filmmaker, he has shot 300 movies. The days I was doing music videos in the 90s into early 2000, I shot over 200 music videos. We shoot films in 3 days, 4 days. There was a time it was 7 days, 8 days. You know, we shoot these days. Some people would say, man, there's no budget. They shoot 3, 4 days. The movie comes out, and the most to the traders who sell these films, what they want is put the face of a commercial superstar on your poster, and we can sell it. In fact, I've seen a film in Nigeria that didn't have a particular actor in the film. They went, begged the actor to come sit in a restaurant. They recorded the actor illegally. They invited the actor to come discuss business, recorded the actor illegally with another cast in that film, and put the actor on the poster. Because they know that the minute you see the actor, Nigerians don't wait to watch the film. Once they see the poster.
Alright, so I basically just took part in a number of sessions, really interesting. I got to learn more about digital distribution for music in Africa, as well as a funny twist to Nollywood in terms of how dramas, how they make movies. And the producer we had seemed to be more focused on making money, so that's what he emphasized. Anyway, let's see what else I can grab in terms of activities to do within Zanzibar before I leave for Dar es Salaam. So I'm going on a hunt now to look for something to eat, and then I'll decide later what to do. So this is technically the last time I'm seeing this view here in Zanzibar. So capturing for the last time. They're collecting oyster shells. I don't know why. People taking pictures. You see lots of boats, canoes on there. And over there I see the floating restaurant. I'm tempted to go check it out. I haven't eaten there yet, but I'll probably go check it out. So yes, I decided to come to the floating restaurant to give it a try. And I've ordered. You can also see the view around me, really beautiful. I'm also tempted to go on a boat cruise, boat ride, while I wait for the flight. I don't know. I was hoping I'll get somebody to do it with. I'm not so inspired to do it by myself, but so let's see. If it does happen, I will capture it as well. Bye-bye. heading home to Accra. The journey back home has been quite hectic. When I left Zanzibar, I booked a hotel that I thought was quite close to the airport so that my morning flight would be very smooth. But when I arrived or was finding my way to the hotel, I realized it was rather very far from what was advertised on Expedia. So anyway, I got in and couldn't really sleep because of the distance I had to travel before I get to the airport. So in the morning I called an Uber. I requested for an Uber, and the first one cancelled. The second one kept going on until I had to call him, only for him to say that the distance was rather too long and so he couldn't make it. That be the case, I decided to now go downstairs and tell them to get me a taxi. They called one, which was a bit more expensive than I would have paid for, but hey, I got on board and rushed to the airport well in time to check in. And of course, typical African immigration, very slow, don't know why. Going through documents that were not that necessary. But again, I sailed through and made it to Kigali, so I'm in Kigali at the moment, waiting to go to Accra. Our flight has been delayed by 30 minutes, I think, so yes, see you soon back home. Alright, bye bye.